Alright, YouTube, today we're going to be swapping out these stance shocks and springs. Hopefully you guys can see this. Hold on, let me get a light. Today we're going to be swapping out these stance shocks. These are stance, I believe, Super Sports SS stance shocks. Stance with the springs and the top hat. And we're going to be swapping these out today for these lovely PBM, baby. So super simple stuff, man. It's just a few bolts, really. You got, I believe these are 17s. Then you got your end link in the back, which is this bolt right here, which I believe to be that's a 17 actually, and this is a 14, I believe. And then you have the bolt that holds in the subframe. This is a 19. These are both 19s. So this holds in the subframe, this holds in the coilover. So you got 19, 14s, and a 17 back here on the rear end link. And for these two bolts back here, for the 219 bolts, you will have to hold it with a 19 wrench back here, as you can see. Try and get that. You have to hold it with a wrench, man. So really simple stuff. Really doesn't take too long, man. Don't let a shop overcharge you for something you can do yourself. I'm really doing this in a parking garage, so let's get a full understanding here. So yeah, man, let's get to it. So now with these two bolts up here removed, we're gonna go back here. We're gonna go back to this rear sway bar right there. And we're gonna undo that with a 14. Or a 17, I'm sorry. Alright, as you can see, we got the rear end link out. We just pushed it out, unscrewed the bolt. Now we're gonna do these last two 19mm sockets right here. Probably gonna start with this first one right here, closest to the hub, and then do this, the one that holds in the coilover second. So, and also doing these, you'll have to hold it on the other side back here. You have to hold it back there with the 19 wrench, which I have right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Also, I would like to add too that as you can see, this subframe started dropping as soon as you remove this bolt. Still got one more holding it in. A good idea is to have a jack. And I'm probably just going to, let me not scratch up the car. And what I'm going to do is support this hub with this jack, just so nothing comes crashing down, which it won't, but better safe than sorry. Just have a little support there. Still got your brake lines intact, so you don't want anything finicky going on, so it's just better to have that there. Have a little support right there. There we go, baby, and we're gonna do this last bolt. Okay, so now that we have this final bolt out, we have all those two bolts. We have the rear end link out, these two up here. What we're gonna do is now remove this rear spring and the top hat. So how we do that, if I can get enough light here, get you a good pry bar, something simple. All you're gonna do, man, is take this, start prying out the spring very carefully. And as you can see, I already just with one hand pretty much got it out. But you can take a rubber mallet beat it out, obviously from the other side. Yeah, I'm gonna put this camera down so I can actually do this, and once I'm done, I'll get back to you. Alright YouTube, we're back. We got the rear spring out with the top hat, and that is about all for the uninstallation of either your stock coilovers or some aftermarket that include the rear springs, have the rear spring cup and a shock. Now the difference with these PBMs is that it's all one piece. The rear piece is the spring and the shock at the same time, so you don't even have to worry about reinstalling the rear spring with the top hat. So it's actually going to be even quicker to install, man. So what we're gonna do is grab this coil, and insert it like so. And the coil should line up with the second hole right here. So you have 1, 2, coil should come through right here. All you're doing is sticking it in over this hub and down back where you took it out of. So you can see, get in there, line it up, and put the bolt in there and screw it in. Alright, got that bolt in. Now what's next is not to forget about the end link back here. So this is very important that this is going to be first. You do it in this order. So make sure you do the end link, and you got to get the end link on there. And it might take a little playing around. You might have to move the rear subframe up and down a little bit to fit it in there. Might need to tap it with a rubber mallet a little bit, but with a little finagling, you can get it in, get it done. Alright, and now with the rear end link on, what we're going to do next is we're going to push this. We're gonna push this coil down, depress subframe, push it down, so you can put this and line these holes up right here, obviously, with these right here. And then we have one more bolt down here. So how we'll do this, take a little pry bar, get some leverage, push it down, easy peasy, put that in there. And then we'll just fit that snugly in there, and then we'll screw this bolt on first, and then lastly will be these two bolts up here. So okay, so we got the coil fitting snugly, we don't have the bolts in. And now this is one of the trickiest things that a lot of people on YouTube don't tell you to do, what you have to do to get this last bolt in right here. What you will need is you need 2 jacks. You need one jack to jack up the subframe, and you need another jack up this wheel hub. And what you have to do is you have to get these 2 holes right here to line up with each other, so you can stick the bolt straight through, no problem, and screw it in. So I'll try and show you how that looks right now. So this is my setup. I've got it in. I hit it with the rubber mallet, and I have 1 jack on the rear subframe, as I've showed you, and I have this jack just jacking up the wheel hub a little bit. You can also, instead of putting it right here on the edge, which kind of looks sketchy, you can put it on this small ball right there. It's kind of a better spot. So do what you will with that. And definitely don't forget about these last 2 bolts up here. Just got those in. So now we're done, baby. It's really simple stuff, man. The whole thing's secure, installed 30 minutes in a parking garage. So I'm gonna go through this, tighten it up, everything with a torque wrench, and then we should be good to put the wheel back on and lower it down. Alright, and with everything tightened up, man, we got everything back in. PBM, this looks so weird without the rear spring, man, but I'm so excited to see how these ride. So everything tightened back up, man. We're gonna go ahead and throw the wheel back on, lower this thing down, and see how this thing looks, man. Alright guys, same video, different day. Had to come back and do the fronts. So the fronts are going to be easy as well. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to undo. As you can see, I've already done this side, obviously, but you got your sway bar right here. The first thing you're gonna do on your stock coil is remove, trying to get the focus, you're gonna remove that sway bar. Sorry, might need a light, but you get the gist. That sway bar, you're gonna undo that brake bracket right there, and then you have these two bolts that hold in your shock and the hub to the coil. And then once you do all of those, you'll pop your hood, come up here. You may have a cap right here that you'll have to squeeze off, and you'll have these 3 bolts right here, and these will be the last 3. And what you do is you'll unscrew these, and then your coil will be good to go ahead and just pull out. And the sizes you'll need is a 19, 17, 14, and a 12. This brake line bracket is a 12. These bolts on the back are 17. The bolts on the front to hold them while you're doing this are 19s. And these up here are all 14 sockets. So pretty simple stuff, man, not too hard. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and I'll show you guys more of that. All right, YouTube, we're back on this side. We're back in the fronts. Just like I was saying before, the sizes you'll need a 19, 17, 14, and a 12. 12, it's my light. Get my light out here for y'all. 12 right there for the brake line. 17 on these 2 bolts right here. These are 19s on the nuts. No homo. 19 millimeter on the nuts. You have to hold one of these sides while you undo the other. So you have those, and then if you come up here to the top, you have your strut tower, which has a slight cap on it, which you just squeeze off as so. Expose these 3 bolts. These are all 14s, I do believe. And once you undo those, then your coil will be good to chop out, and you'll just install it the same way. Also, let me not forget about the sway bar. Sway bar back here is a 19 millimeter as well. So you'll want to do the sway bar. You'll want to undo the sway bar first, and you'll also, when reinstalling, you'll want to reinstall the sway bar first. This is the biggest pain in the ass in the whole front. Once you get that on, you're good. Okay, so first thing I have done is remove the sway bar, and then after you remove your sway bar, you're gonna come down to these 2 bolts right here. You're gonna put your 19 on this side, and you're gonna put your 17 on this side. 19 on this side, 17 on this side. You're gonna undo both of these. Another step that's gonna make it easier, before you fully remove these 2 bolts, what you wanna do is get your trusty dusty jack and just support this hub. Scoot it back. Get your jack, just support it before you fully remove it. That way nothing comes crashing down. Alright, so as you can see, I have the nut removed on both of those, and I'll just take my rubber mallet, boom, and boom. And lastly, what we'll do is remove this 12 millimeter brake line, and then we'll go to the top. And now with everything out, just have the coil being suspended by these 3 bolts up here, which are all 14 millimeter. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these. Very important when you get to this last one not to fully undo it without actually holding the coil. This way it doesn't come crashing down on you. So what you want to do is just back this out a little bit, and then hold the coil, or have someone else hold it for you, and then fully take it out, and then fully drop it out. So let's do it. So now that we're installing our new coilover, what I found is the easiest way to do it. Take this, stick it in here, and before you stick it up through the strut tower and put a nut on, you want to take this end link and you want to throw it through the bracket back there. Back there. Throw it through there first, then throw it up to the strut tower, put the nut on. It's the easiest way. Once you get this sway bar on, everything else is a piece of cake, man. The sway bar is a pain. So take care of the sway bar first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this up once I put this camera down. I'm gonna lift this coilover up. I'm gonna put that through that sway bar bracket. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the coil up and through the strut tower right there, and just use my hand to thread the nuts on, just so that the coilover can be held, and then everything else will be a piece of cake, man. So I'll see y'all then. All right, YouTube, I went ahead and finished up the front coil. It's got everything buttoned on. Let me just walk around here, show y'all the final product. I got the front just tucked, and the same with the rear, man. Slight tuck, mostly flush. So it's the final product, baby. All easy, simple stuff, man. It's really not too difficult to install the coils. And yeah. So this video helped y'all out, man. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe for more. You should definitely know we got more coming, man. And to the next one, baby. I'm gone.